Just banning a bunch of people. Hold on. All right. So we're gonna continue, but you know, yeah. If we don't climb back up, I might just end the stream. You know, so we'll see. I'll give it some time, but just one of those things. You know, it's just one of those things. We lost like two. We lost 2 hours, right? We lost 2 hours. Because of, yeah.
Hey there, I'm Trinity Chavez, and you're watching Just Press Play, the show that brings you in-depth reports, exclusive interviews, and
Thank you, FIFA. Appreciate you.
controversial issues you may have missed during the week on RT America. On our playlist today, U.S. lawmakers have suggested in recent weeks that Russia could be removed from SWIFT, a global banking system. We hear from a power panel about the potential economic fallout on Evening News.
Oh my God, who is she?
Plus, virtual real estate is making headlines, topping $500 million in sales.
I might work for RT. You guys know that? I might go work for RT.
And is projected to double this year. But exactly how can you invest in metaverse real estate? And then how do you enjoy it? We hear from the experts on Boom Bust. And Spotify is on the spot this week in a debate over censorship and free speech. We dive in deep into the details on the big picture. Let's get started.
We are first to bring you this story tonight. Question mark.
President Biden is directing the Pentagon to deploy 3,000 more troops to bolster European allies amid the ongoing situation in Ukraine. But while the U.S. says the move is not to escalate tensions, some believe the U.S. media is beating the drums of war, insisting a Russian invasion was potentially imminent. On In Question, Manila Chan speaks to Johnny FD about what life is really like on the ground.
This is such a cool media thing. Like I love their shit. I love how they have their shit. Like that's just like such good media, you know.
Honestly, is very normal. I live right off of Krashadik, the main street here, and over the weekend I actually did a live stream on my channel, and I just showed people life is going on like it's completely normal. There's people on the streets, nobody's protesting. There's nothing happening on the ground here that would make you feel like you're in any kind of danger.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, how would you compare the American media presentation of this border problem with what you see on local television there?
Well, what's funny is I just came back from America about a week ago. I went to San Francisco, and as soon as I landed, I was bombarded with media saying Ukraine is. It almost made it look like Ukraine was already at war. And as soon as I got back, I didn't see any of that anymore. Even my YouTube page as a viewer changes. When I was in the U.S., all the top recommendations were, this is happening on the border, Russia's invading, Ukraine's at war. And as soon as I got back, all that goes away.
That's really interesting. They geo-target based on where you are, obviously. Now, since you're on the ground there, I mean, is it true? Is this a myth? Do Ukrainians really
Huncho, I'm gonna help you out, bro. I'm gonna help you out. There you go.
hate Russians, or is this all blown out of proportion by the media?
So a lot of Ukrainians hate, the policy or, the Russian government or what happened in Crimea in 2014. But Ukrainians don't hate Russians. Most of them have family members in Russia. They have really good relations with them as, cousins or family members. It's probably very similar to how Americans and Canadians are.
Oh, I was sent something too. I was sent something on Twitter. I'm gonna show it to you. I don't know what the fuck this is. Someone sent this to me.
For being cool with Big Bang P, but Big Bang P just linked up with China, and if I'm not mistaken, Big Bang P is one of the richest men in the world, and everybody and their mama owe China some money, so we might have an issue. But this is what happened. Big Bang P was looking at Ukraine, and he like, I like that territory. It's like real close to Russia, and I feel like it belongs to us, so I'm finna come get it. So he didn't move his military close to the border, and he letting them know like
they're spreading misinformation by trying to be like down to earth and true and casual, but it's literally Democrat fucking Nazi propaganda that they're spreading in this way. Isn't that fucked up? Like accusing Putin of being like an aggressor. This is like straight from Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton coached her to say this, by the way. Told her to say this. I fucking hate the Democrats. I hate the fucking Democrats so much. These warmongering fucking Democrats, man. It's so disgusting.
I'm finna come get it, like, just letting y'all know, right? And so Ukraine is like, we don't know what he's gonna do. So they got their military out there teaching their citizens how to do Taibo just in case they gotta defend themselves. But some of the citizens, they like, you know what? Big Bang P, he is kind of crazy, but he ain't finna bust a grape. And if he do bust a grape, guess what? America gonna come over here and help us. But my whole thing is like, I don't know if y'all forgot what happened in Afghanistan, but we was over there for over 20 years and nobody understood the assignment. So personally, I just would not put all my eggs in the American basket. I done seen the type of people that are American military employed, and no disrespect, but y'all need to go to them continuation schools in the hood and go get you some real shooters. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, so Biden done hopped in, right? So Big Daddy Biden, he done hopped into the mix, and he like, look, P, stop playing with me. I know you're trying to be funny because America over here arguing about abortion rights and affirmative.
Yeah, these people, like, they make it seem like they're just like casual, normal people, but they're spreading fucking propaganda for war. Making it seem like there's like these like completely down to earth, casual people, whatever. It's fucking war propaganda.
Of action during Black History Month, but I ain't got time for this right now. So if you pull up over there, it's gonna be some smoke, and you're gonna get sanctions. I'm sending you a whole receipt. Like, you're gonna have to pay this bill. And P is like, bruh, let me tell you something. By the look of the inflation in America and y'all homelessness problem y'all got over there, y'all need this money. So go ahead and send me the bill, bruh. I'll pay it in cash. And so at this point, it's out of our hands.
Why are they accusing Putin of aggression? For what? That he just wants Ukraine and wants the territory? That's not what fucking happened at all. This is it's so disgusting, you know? I hate fucking Twitter and TikTok and shit. I want to read this. This is from Nick Land. Hold on, give me a sec. When seen from the outside, planets are burial sites. This is not for stream. I just want to read it like myself. And I'll let you guys read it too, but yeah. That's funny. All right. Now, I'm gonna critique on substance. Where is it? Yeah. I want to critique Hassan's thing about the Canadian truckers on substance, mainly because Hassan's the biggest leftist streamer on Twitch. He represents leftist sentiment on Twitch beyond just the Twitter MLs that I deal with, the fringe ones. So I think it's worth it for me to go through this and break it down and critique what he's saying about the Canadian truckers. So again, Hassan's using his dehumanizing language, hogwatch, to describe the truckers, the working class of Canada. And yeah. Hold on. Give me a sec. Why can't I watch? Why can't I watch? Tell me why, Muriel. TOS? There's Confederate flags in it? Did Hassan cover it on stream? Did he watch it on stream? Is there like timestamps or anything? So I'm safe then, right?
Based.
Hassan is an aristocrat before the deluge.
Give me
Infrared
the
sky-
timestamps. Give me the timestamp. Thank you, Rocksoft. Give me the timestamps. This is not fucking muscle milk. Can you give me the timestamp? Oh my god. The fucking Trudeau thing with blackface is like everywhere. It's at 3:37. Okay.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. That's from Karl Marx, of course. He wrote that famous phrase in 1848. The weird thing is, it's pretty likely that Marx himself never met an actual worker. Wait a second. He did.
Tucker, shut the fuck up, dude. This is just such a stupid thing to say. Why attack Marx? For what?
Didn't spend a decade in a cotton mill witnessing the oppression firsthand? No.
What? Engels literally did, though. He wrote The Condition of the Working Class in England. Dude, just don't talk about shit you don't understand. Like, don't talk about shit you don't get, you know?
Karl Marx never spent a moment in a factory. He was a rich kid who became a journalist. Of course he was.
This is just not true. He was middle class. Relatively speaking, middle class. Tucker, shut the fuck up, dude. Just don't talk about shit you don't understand. No investigation, no right to speak. That's what I say.
Was. But for more than 150 years, Karl Marx inspired generations of other rich kids who also became journalists to repeat his line or variations of it. Over time, workers became working men or working class, and then with feminism, working people or working families. But the idea itself never changed. Ordinary people, wage earners, are getting shafted. So they've got to unite. They've got to come together for protection and for dignity. This was the idea, of course, behind the organized labor movement. And every Democratic president, from Andrew Jackson until now, has made the very same point over and over again. The noble people have scrambled.
Are you gonna call Andrew Jackson a fucking Marxist? Or what are you saying?
You hear it even today. So Democrats have repeated that line often enough, you would think they really mean it. Do they really mean it? Let's take the test. Here's how you know. Watch what happens when actual workers, working people from working families who constitute the working class, actually come together as a group to protest how things are going. What happens then? Does the intellectual class greet these workers as heroes? Throw a parade? Listen intently to their stories? Does NPR do a sympathetic feature on them?
What are you talking about, dude? The liberals never even pretend to be pro-working class anymore. I don't even know. What are you saying? You're just building a straw man. Like, I get what you're saying, but you should, I mean, critique Bernie and AOC on this. I agree, critique them on this. But the people you're talking about are not Marxists, right? Critique the progressive left on this, sure, right? But NPR, why?
Or do self-described progressives recoil in revulsion and horror?
Yeah, talk about progressives. Because they are, yeah. It does expose something, right?
At the grubbiness of the people who, as we used to say, work for a living. Do liberals immediately denounce them as Nazis and call for their suppression by force? That's the question. What's the answer? Well, ask Trump voters what happens. They'll know. Or consider what's happening right now in Canada. Thousands of truck drivers have descended on Ottawa, the capital city, to protest the tyranny of Justin Trudeau's government. Justin Trudeau does not like truck drivers. He thinks they're revolting. Justin Trudeau likes private equity barons and tech moguls and other people who give him money. Trudeau is not in Ottawa right now. In fact, he and his family fled when the truck drivers arrived, and they've been in hiding ever since. So when the revolution he has been calling for finally arrived, Justin
Tucker is an intellectual. So sometimes he just says shit that's just not necessary. Like, what revolution has Trudeau called for? What revolution?
Trudeau wasn't there to see it. He ran away in terror. Kind of sad. So instead, in his place, his friend Mark Carney has been speaking for him. Carney is a former Goldman Sachs executive who many believe will replace Justin Trudeau if Trudeau ever decides to give up power. In a recent op-ed, Mark Carney vented his rage at the impudent truckers in Ottawa and anyone who sent them money on the internet. Quote, "Anyone sending money to the convoy should be in no doubt," Carney wrote. "You are funding sedition. Foreign funders of an insurrection interfered in our domestic affairs from the start." Got that? It's not a protest. It's sedition. It's an insurrection.
This is like what fucking Twitter MLs are saying too.
Clearly, Mark Carney's
Goldman Sachs MLs.
been watching a lot of CNN up there in Canada, and that's why he's concluded that truckers should be crushed by force. Quote, "Those who are still helping to extend this occupation must be identified and punished to the full force of the law. People who sent them money should be prosecuted. If they're not prosecuted,"
honk honk.
Mark Carney fears, quote, "the constant blaring of horns at all hours will bankrupt our businesses." Are you laughing yet? So the very same finance ghouls who cheered lockdowns for 2
Hold on, this is where it's coming.
solid years are now deeply concerned that small businesses might be hurt by the trucker protests.
Honk honk.
Hilarious. It'd be interesting, by the way, to poll small business owners in Ottawa to see what they think. How do they feel about the truckers? Somehow you know exactly what those results would be, but no one's doing that poll, of course. Instead, they found an easier way. Justin Trudeau has just ordered police to shut the whole thing down. How do you do that? How do you stop a truck protest? Simple. You seize their fuel. That's exactly what police in Canada are doing. Watch.
So, in fact, yes, they are taking fuel right away from people as they attempt to fuel their vehicles.
Okay, so we are, through much practice, connoisseurs of irony. So let's pause a moment to savor the irony here. The very same people who told us we had to defund the police are now telling the police to seize fuel from working class Canadians who are trying to stay alive in Arctic temperatures. As they used to say in the 1960s, scratch a liberal and you will find a...
All right, thank you, Emirio. Skip the first 20 seconds, 145 to 50, 17 to 7:30. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
fascist. That was a Black Panther slogan, actually. They weren't entirely stupid. In fact, in this case, they were absolutely right. According to Justin Trudeau, possessing gasoline in the city of Ottawa is now a crime. Now, to be clear, Ottawa didn't declare the state of emergency because the truckers lit a courthouse on fire, or shot someone, or leveled
Tucker's confused, you know?
A church. BLM did all of those things, but Justin Trudeau strongly supports BLM. He reaffirmed his support the other day. Here's the problem, and we're going to let the mayor of Ottawa, or Ottawa, as it's correctly pronounced in Ojibwa, explain.
He's so fucking petty. Oh my god, he's so fucking petty.
Explain why peaceful truck drivers pose an imminent danger to Canada.
It's disturbing when you see the protests turning into what looks like some kind of a fun carnival where they've got bouncy castles and hot tubs and saunas, a complete insult to the people who are putting up with this nonsense for the last 7 days, and it shows a great deal of insensitivity.
They've got bouncy castles for kids, growls the childless mayor of Ottawa. Let's hurt them. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a dark scene in Truckistan tonight. The kids are on the bouncy castles. Of course, at the same time, their parents are flaunting the authority of the people in charge, and that is the crime. Watch this protester, a white supremacist, explain his motives for protest.
Where the hell were you? You weren't there. But now you want to come out in the freezing cold to oppose my fundamental human rights and freedoms. I'm not going to have it.
Based.
I'm a black man standing beside my brother right here. This is my brother right here. And none of you have the right to tell me who to associate with and who not to associate with me. Because you did not come out and voice your concerns for the fact that Justin Trudeau banned me from leaving this country because of my medical decision. Because I made a decision that he did not like.
Shut up, racist. Go back to Jamaica with your white supremacy nonsense. By the way, no one in Canada's government or the media in Canada, which is mostly controlled by the government, is engaging with any of the arguments of people like that. Instead, they've gone directly to force, as crumbling regimes always do.
Fucking stupid.
They don't have an
fucking stupid
argument to make. All they have is police power, and they're using them. Officials in Ottawa just threatened to criminally investigate the California company GoFundMe because truckers raised about $10 million on the platform. Here's Ottawa's police chief bragging about stealing that money.
We have, through the efforts of Deputy Bell, Christiane Huneau, the mayor and his staff, we've been able to shut down the GoFundMe program. That's a temporary reprieve because the funds...
Canadian Liberals are the most distasteful political group in the world.
...are already moving in different directions. We are now going after supply and...
I'm sick of these fucking Zoom meetings. You know that? I'm sick of them. I mean, whenever I see a bunch of people in a Zoom meeting, I just know there's something wrong. And this is what the CPUSA does too. They get in their fucking Zoom meeting to conspire against the people. Here you got Anita, and you got Rosanna, and you got Joe Sims, and you got whoever the fuck, and they just all just sit there as these liberals who are like, we don't know what to do. I don't know. Shut the fuck up and fuck Zoom. Can we start having in-person meetings again? I think that's, yeah, I'm going to the CPI conference in March, in person. I'm going to be there. It's going to be in person. I'm not doing this fucking Zoom bullshit. I'm not doing this Zoom nonsense. And we're going to be there in person. And it's going to be a great time.
Fuel coming into the area through investigations and intelligence operations and interdictions, all of which were underway yesterday, fully underway today.
Intelligence operations? This is a peaceful political protest. No one has shown any evidence to the contrary. It's not a drug trafficking or human trafficking operation. It's not Al-Qaeda. These are Canadian citizens who drive trucks for a living. But they're being treated like a terror group. GoFundMe announced it would redirect the $10 million raised by supporters of the truckers to charities of its choice, presumably.
What? Is that allowed? GoFundMe can just fucking rob your money like that? They don't even refund it? I thought they were gonna refund it. They just steal your money? They should be sued. They should be sued.
BLM.
You can't just fucking steal your money.
It has supported since the very beginning. In other words, GoFundMe planned to steal that money. They were stopped from doing this, by the way, by a number of American attorneys general who threatened to sue the companies.
Good.
So the company backed off, and they're going to refund the money. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not in finished law school yet, but pretty sure that's theft.
Supposedly, but still, the truckers, the people.
You know what? I'm fucking pissed. You know how many people told me that they're all right-wing billionaires backing it? 120,000 donors? You're saying 120,000 people donated? You're saying 120,000 people donated, and I was told that this thing was set up by right-wing billionaires. Because that's what they were fucking saying on Twitter to me. And that's what the fucking let's see what the fucking CPUSA is saying. Let's go on People's World. Oh, fuck yourself. They literally put the fucking one Confederate flag guy. Shut the fuck up. They're calling it white supremacist. Yeah, go to fucking hell. Blow it out your fucking ass. Fuck you. They're all calling it racist and Ku Klux Klan. All this fucking bullshit. What an embarrassment. They're even worse than the fucking Canadian Communist Party. What a goddamn embarrassment.
People for whom this money was intended will not get it. So in the absence of GoFundMe doing what it's supposed to do,
I cannot believe that they're doing this. Where does it come from? Where does it? Do they have shame? Don't they feel any fucking shame that they're lying about it like this? Don't they feel any fucking shame? What's wrong with them? Why do they keep lying? Why do they show the Confederate flag when there was one guy and they kicked him out? They got him out. And it was a fucking op too. Don't they have any shame? Don't they know it's like not true? Why do they fucking instinctually jump on this bandwagon of accusing everyone of being a fucking white supremacist? Where does that fucking come from? Why are leftists like that? It's fucking disgusting.
others are filling the gap. An alternative crowdfunding website called Give, Send, Go has stepped up and raised already more than $5 million for the truckers. How long till they try to shut that down, too?
And it's like you confront them with the truth and they laugh at you. Well, then what are you doing this for? What's the fucking reason?
Some Canadians are clearly worried about that. They're turning to cryptocurrency. Tallycoin, for example, is a small crowdfunding service that uses Bitcoin. It's not controlled by banks. That's the point. They're hosting a fundraiser for the truckers. Now, why is this appealing? No one can steal the money. No government can pressure anyone to turn the money over because governments don't control crypto. Bitcoin goes from person A to person B, and all the intermediary does, the company.
The people who started the GoFundMe, you're saying, have iffy connections. Yeah, they're right-wingers. And what's your point?
Is connect the two. It's pretty appealing. And you can imagine the long-term consequences here. If the people in charge in this country and in Canada want to make the U.S.
Sometimes I have really dark thoughts. Like, sometimes I have thoughts like, is our world just evil? Like, if you're a leftist, you'll find a way to evil. You'll just be evil. You're like, there's a way, everything balances out. Oh, you're going to draw from this very beautiful and good tradition of Marxism, Leninism, and communism. Well, that's going to be corrupted, and it's just going to be evil people. Leftists, everything balances out into the same evil. That's my fucking black pill, you know? There's always a fucking way to turn everything good into something fucking evil. That's what left. It's just the same road to the same fucking evil.
Dollar irrelevant, they'll keep acting like this, and soon that it will be. Either way, it's becoming very clear that the only way around the stranglehold that technology has on our human rights is decentralization. That doesn't apply just to crowdfunding, but
imagine if the working class was united with Marxist-Leninist theory. Imagine if these two things just came together, right? These two things just met and came together. That would fucking change everything. Be fucking unstoppable. They have to be separate. The Marxists have to go and fucking do the shit they're doing. And the working class is leaderless and directionlessness and just getting scammed and duped. And
more than anything to communication. You can't organize if you can't talk to other people. So Facebook, for example, just shut down the Khanvoy to DC group, which had amassed 134,000 followers in just 2 days. No one's allowed to promote the organization anymore. Facebook all day today has been suppressing positive articles about the truckers in Canada. Of course they are. That seems like a story, but our media have ignored it. Instead, everyone in New York and DC and Los Angeles is cheering on the national security state and its alliance with Silicon Valley as they come together to crush a human rights movement. Makes sense.
Those with the so-called Freedom Convoy say they're staying put until vaccine mandates are dropped, the masks come off, and life returns to the way it was.
This whole event has gone beyond just vaccines, and it is now about the entire ordeal.
We're asking for our freedom. That's all we want.
So they've been free to park big rigs right next to the Prime Minister's office, free to set up camp in front of...
Ah, God, CNN, it's just so disgusting. It just gives me this fucking feeling like, God damn, I hate it. I just see the serpent. When I look at this, I see the serpent. I just see the fucking serpent when I look at this. So disgusting.
Of the country's national parliament. Ottawa police say they have learned...
They're so fucking manipulative. They're such liars. Fucking fake news, man. They're such manipulative liars at CNN. I hate them.
Much in the past week, especially after reports of assaults, intimidation, and allegations of hate speech and symbols.
This remains, as it was from the beginning, an increasingly volatile and increasingly dangerous demonstration.
And it is spreading like a contagion itself right across the country.
It's spreading like a contagion. Now, you knew that CNN was the Praetorian Guard for our ruling class. Did you know they serve the same role in Canada? And what other countries?
Yeah.
How much money does CNN take?
And Tucker, you're not going to talk about the British Empire, but that's where it comes from.
Take from the government of Canada. That'd be worth finding out. They described what's happening in Ottawa as a, quote, violent and dangerous demonstration. Really? Where's the violence coming from? The only people getting injured or have been injured so far are the protesters, the truckers. In Winnipeg on Friday, an anarchist called David Zegarak drove his Jeep into 4 people who were protesting vax mandates. You're seeing that on the screen right now. Zegarak didn't stop after hitting the people. He fled. Police later arrested him. Of course, police are treating the...
That was such a save. I literally would have been fucked.
Incident like a hit and run. Nothing political. It's not...
Emilio, can you just post in the Discord all the TOS?
Domestic terrorism or anything. David Zegarak has views they agree with. He's a progressive, a true believer. How much is he a true believer? Well, if you look closely, you'll notice that Zegarak has his mask on, driving alone in his car.
Let me get this straight. An anarchist defending the government mandates got in his Jeep, mowed down 4 people, and was wearing a mask in his Jeep the whole time. And he calls himself an anarchist.
During the assault. Prima facie evidence of mental illness, something you see in this country all the time, and it makes you wonder, if you're driving alone with a mask on, do you pose a danger to pedestrians? Entirely possible. Someone should fund a study on that. That seems like a big story, especially since it's happening just an hour from our own border, all of this. The question is, how long before protests like this come here?
Posted in suggestions. Got it. There's a lot of shit in I'm not looking at in the Discord from like suggestions and shit. Actually, there is some shit I wanted to show you. Actually. Here, I'll put it here.
Clearly, our media are worried about that. Watch the morning news anchors on MSNBC. They're deeply, deeply concerned about these uppity working class people. Watch.
Where were these protests when people were required to give their children 5 vaccines?
They were in the doctor's office getting vaccines.
They were in the doctor's office getting vaccines, and they were making fun of left-wingers on the West Coast for being loopy anti-vaxxers.
Okay.
What? What is he talking about?
They were in the doctor's office getting
that. Watch the morning news anchors on MSNBC. They're deeply, deeply concerned about these uppity working class people. Watch.
Where were these protests when people were required to give their children 5 vaccines?
They were in the doctor's office getting vaccines.
They were in the doctor's office getting vaccines.
When children were required to get 5 vaccines. What?
Vaccine, and they were making fun of left-wingers on the West Coast for being loopy anti-vaxxers.
Okay.
Now they have met the enemy, and the enemy, their enemy, is themselves, because they've become what they hated. It's a cult.
So here you have Joe and Mika sneering from their studio in Florida at the freezing wage earners stuck outside in Ottawa in February because they want their human rights. Screw them. Would Joe Scarborough say that to their faces? Probably not. Scarborough's famously tough on young female employees. Some say he's an absolute killer in the office. But it's hard to imagine Scarborough talking like this if there was an actual Canadian trucker in the room.
Oh, the measles.
Truckers in this country are watching all of this, and you wonder, what do they think about it? What would happen if American truck drivers decided they'd had enough of people like Joe Scarborough and went on strike? What would happen then? Well, this country would stop immediately. No more deliveries of anything. Over time, that would mean starvation for people in the cities. But even in the short term, there would be profound suffering in this country. For example, and this is something that too few people outside of television even consider, the world's entire supply of Botox is manufactured on the west coast of Ireland. That's a long way from here. In fact, it's a 4,000-mile-long supply chain from the Allergan plant in Westport, Ireland, to Jupiter, Florida. Now, people at MSNBC might not be aware of this, but our country has no domestic Botox production. Along with vitamin C and antibiotics, it's one of the life-saving pharmaceutical products we have recklessly offshored. So if the trucks stop delivering, the Botox stops coming. And suddenly your morning television anchors are going to look like they're 58 years old, which actually they are. Could that happen? Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. The people in charge aren't really thinking this through. Most of the time, trends start in the United States and they move north to Canada. But this time, the opposite could happen.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Canadian truckers that are flying Confederate flags, and also Canadian truckers that are
Oh, the world's turned upside down. Everything's topsy-turvy in this world. It's all turned upside down. We have the left-wing Hassan attacking the protesters, the working class protesters, and I wanted to show you something before we get into this Hassan thing. Matter of fact suggestions. Okay, here it is. There it is. Okay. What I experienced talking with convoy protesters at a counter protest today. I wanted to show you this because a lot of people are making a point of pointing out the ideological sentiments of the protesters and whether that's essential or not. And well, they're anti-communist and stuff. So this is an example that was from Reddit of I went to a counter protest and decided to cross the other side. Since I was curious what their line of thinking was, here's what I noticed. They're rational in the sense that the majority of them are open-minded to have a conversation with you. And that's what Joe Rogan does, by the way. He just has conversations. They can present decent opinions pretty well. that pretty much all sides can agree on. Here's what I noticed. A lot of them don't really know what they're talking about when you get to details. There's this basic questions. So some of them want an improved healthcare system, and they're just ordinary, normal people who had fuck Trudeau flag. What exactly do you not like about Trudeau? He's a communist. Okay, what is communism? Well, it's a belief that everyone should be poor. So he was unsure of his answer. He just learned it somewhere. Okay, and when has he advocated for communism? What are policies that are communist? Well, look at the mandates forcing everyone to be vaccinated. How is vaccination making everyone poor? Because if you're not vaccinated, you lose your job. Why doesn't he just cut jobs and sabotage money? It sounds like when you have conversations with people, it's revealed that the things they're saying about communism are just confusions. It's not really what's essential, right? It's almost like if communists actually provided effective leadership and clarity over things like this, you wouldn't see the right have so much fucking sway. Because the right is at least listening to them and trying to formulate some kind of coherent explanation for why they're discontented. Communists aren't even fucking trying to do that. Look at what Hassan's doing. I'll give you an example of what leftists are doing. So here's Hassan. This is how Hassan responds to them.
Truckers, Canadian truckers that are flying Confederate flags, and also Canadian truckers that are not even actual truckers, but driving pickup trucks, casuals. That's what we're going to be doing today, because this is a big story and the news is not covering it, except they are actually covering it, but they're not covering it hard enough.
Well, they're not covering it positively is the point.
Of Canadians being like, I'm a Confederate. Like, this is the highest.
Hassan, there are not widespread use of the Confederate flag at the protest. There was like one case.
Stage of LARPing. Like, there is no higher stage of LARPing than a Canadian. It's like a from New York flying the Confederate flag in Albany. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you fought against that. Like, it's crazy. Ultimately, it's just LARP. Okay, let's continue.
Supporting real Canadians. I immigrant. I came here 25 years ago. I don't like Canada, what's happening unofficial. But this is real Canada. This is real Canadians. I do love them. Look at these hero truckers. Support. They're fighting for us. For you, for me, for him, for everybody.
What are they fighting for?
For freedom. This is not a freedom.
What do you mean by freedom?
How it's possible that Trudeau and all this government mandate to do vaccine or something like this? Since when government forced to make a medical procedure? When? Since when? Do the doctor?
Dude, I love NA, dude. NA is so fucking stupid. We are the dumbest continent, dude. I swear to fucking God. Like, every part of this, like, America is such a fucking beacon for...
Yeah, compared to Europe, where they had 100,000 people protesting over the mandates and lockdowns. Yeah, Europeans are so different, Hassan. You're right.
Idiocy that, like,
also, like in Bolivia, where people protested the vaccine mandates, or like how China doesn't enforce vaccine mandates, or like how the Communist Party of the Russian Federation is coming out against vaccine mandates. It's almost like people around the entire world are resisting vaccine mandates and not just North Americans. Yeah, he's giving the two instigators more attention than the tens of thousands of truckers.
Proximity, if you're close to us, you're fucked by design, okay? Like, you have like a
Yeah, Hassan, you're just so much smarter than everyone.
Ukrainian migrant living in Canada for like the last 5 years being like, this is real America. I love this. You have a motherfucker in a pickup truck flying the Gadsden flag back there. You got homies with a Confederate flag, and you have like a Ukrainian immigrant being like, yes, I love America like this. This is good Canada. It's like, what is happening, dude? Are we just like open borders for as long as you're like a fucking psycho? Like, as long NA is like, dude, listen, are you a Guatemalan migrant? Are you living in Guatemala and you walked all
Cuba has no mandates and it's the second most vaccinated country.
The way over to the United States border? Do you just want to have like a normal life and a better future for your children? Fuck you, dude. Now, say some shit. Say some crazy.
Even Corbyn's anti-mandate. Mélenchon's anti-mandate.
Crazy shit. and then we'll reconsider it. I love this, dude. I fucking love it. Oh, it's so great. I feel like they're greatly exaggerating the, success of this. I don't know. Am I crazy?
Why? Because the media has agenda to be pro-trucker, right? Is that what you mean to tell us?
I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's just, but because Canada's like 11 people, when like 3 people act up, they're like, whoa, hold on a second there, buddy. That's a big chunk of our population there. 30%, damn near 30% of Canada are up in arms now. Freedom Convoy truck drivers approaching Ottawa ahead of the protest.
Whenever you have 5 or 10,000 people who are part of any group, you're bound to have a number who have or say unacceptable things.
What do you guys think? Because I don't know if I'm being too generous or I'm being too kind. Do you think Hassan's just confused? I mean, what essentially, besides his Young Turks background, makes him look at things this way, I really think he's confused. I don't know. I mean, maybe if someone talked to him, he could be persuaded, right? I mean, he's broken with his uncle on some issues. He seems to maybe have his own independent view on certain things. I don't know. I really don't know, like, where... I know why others come from where they do, but is he just... I really think it is the Chapo people that are where he's at. He's with those Chapo podcasters and TrueAnon people, and that's like where he's getting it from.
Things.
Dude, it's just like America Light, you know what I mean? So it's really funny whenever they're just like they're
I don't think he's very educated. He's not really that educated. I mean,
doing America Light shit, and they're conservative guys like, yeah, there's some Nazis, I guess. That's what people are.
He didn't learn from Bernie in 2020. That's really what this is. He did not learn from Bernie in 2020.
Been saying, but it's not a big deal. You got Nazis in every group. I mean, come on.
And
which you do. I mean, there's Nazis in your chat. There's also a reason why. Well, there's 2 things you have to think about, right? So one, there's ops. So people who go with flags to delegitimize the protests. Each of the cases of the photos that went viral of the Confederate flag and then the swastika was in all probability an op, right? Just the way that those pictures were taken and how they were spread, you can assume they're an op. But let's for a moment just assume they're not an op, right? Well, here's how it works. Karl Kautsky talked about anti-Semitism as the socialism of fools. Spontaneously, people who are skeptical of the status quo and of the world and critical of the world, notice how spontaneously people will deviate to the right, or they'll move to the right. No one spontaneously expresses their disaffection with the system through leftism. Leftism is something you have to be initiated into and educated into. But when you're just starting out, you're going to latch on to conspiracy theories of any kind. You're going to latch on to right-wing ideas, right? And among those things is you're going to latch on to historical revisionism. It's not that common, as in like it's not the majority of cases. But yeah, there's a significant minority of people just spontaneously disaffected with the world who immediately will turn to historical revisionism about World War II. And they're like, okay, Hitler is demonized by my textbooks in school and by the media, and he's like the villain. What if Hitler was the good guy? And then that's their way of rebelling against the world, right? So it's very clear why people will latch on to these ideas spontaneously, And it's not necessarily indicative of them being sincerely fascist or sincerely Nazis or sincerely white supremacists, right? And I think a lot of people are shocked when I confront them with this attitude. He's like, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. Well, it's just because I don't really attribute that much significance to ideologies and narratives. I like to get to the point of what you actually mean in a practical meat and potatoes sense. The far right is not a threat in America. It's not a threat in Canada. It's not even a threat in Europe. Although in Europe, there is an issue of hooliganism and violence, right? So that becomes an issue when there's violence against immigrants. But, I mean, beyond that, the far right is just a form of vain rebellion against the status quo. It's not actually something that poses any imminent danger of like taking over or anything like that. That's so important to understand. There's no fascist threat. Fascism is a very vain form of rebellion against the status quo today. What they call fascism, right? Fascism historically only became what it did because it had the backing of Anglo-American liberal financiers, progressives even, right? Progressives loved Mussolini, and they liked Hitler too. They were progressives. When I say they had the backing of Anglo-American financiers and industrialists and British intelligence, I am not referring to like a fringe billionaire of some kind. I'm referring to the ruling elite, the ruling class back then, the liberal ruling class, right? Back then. The liberal ruling class, right? So, it's very important to understand that ideology doesn't matter that much. Meat and potatoes matters more. Can I be honest with you guys? I'm going to just come full front and center. I can literally talk to anyone about anything. If someone's an Islamophobe who has very vile views about Muslims, as long as they're not being disrespectful to me personally I have the thickest skin in the world. There's nothing anyone can say that can offend me. Unless you make it personal, I don't care if you say anything. You cannot offend me. I can literally talk to you about anything without policing you, without chastising you, and without, oh, that's reprehensible. I will be a human being. Always. I'm not sensitive. I'm not ideologically sensitive. That's what it is. A lot of people think that I'm a fascist or I'm a Nazi because I'm not ideologically sensitive towards them. They just don't impress me. They don't faze me. I'm not like, oh my God. I don't feel like my boundaries have been crossed if someone is expressing edgy views. I don't care, right? Because I don't think that's what Nazism was. When people say, oh, I'm a Nazi or whatever, and they're talking about how they love Hitler or whatever, I don't think you're actually what Nazis were in the 1930s. I think you're just being an edgelord, or you're just trying to like express some disaffection with the system and society in some kind of way. Because in our society, Hitler is villainized. I mean, rightfully so, right? And he is considered like the ultimate face of evil. So, I don't know why no one else has the mentality that I do. But you know what it is that I'm a fucking Khan. You know what a Khan means? I open space. The left has a fortress mentality where they just build fortresses against the world. And I'm a Khan, and I just have the flat, eternal space, right? Where it's just like, you really have to let go of all your leftist sensitivities. Let go of them and embrace eternity. Let go of your leftist sensitivities. Let go of your leftist paranoia. Let go of your closed-minded mentality. And risk everything. Risk your ideology being wrong. Stop being insecure ideologically. So many people call me insecure, right? Which is so ironic, because while you may try to claim I'm insecure about things like when it comes to personal level, you're ideologically insecure. You're not secure in your ideological beliefs being true. You always try to censor people and deplatform people, and because you're not secure in your fucking beliefs. You're not secure in what you believe in, right?
They should be individually responsible.
When Vosh paranoiacally calls everyone a Nazi, that's an example of ideological insecurity. He's scared of Nazism being correct, so he's trying to like build fortresses against the menace as much as he can, even though it's not even there, right? It's his own fear of Nazism being correct. And he projects that internal fear that maybe the Nazis had a point onto like an imminent foreign threat like Russia or Syria or something. Like Vosh, literally, people like him are actually tempted by Nazi ideology. They fear it may be correct. And they project that possibility onto actors like the January 6th or the truckers or, you know, the MAGA people or Russia, right? Or even more extreme example, Russia or China or Syria. But this is just an expression of his own internal ideological insecurity. The problem is how ideological insecurity and political incorrectness is starting to become unified with American foreign policy. That's what's really fucked up, right? So you're gonna advocate for attacking Russia because you're not secure in your own. I mean, if America was secure in liberal democracy being correct, why do they have to attack so many other countries and be in everyone else's business? Because they're not secure. America is tempted by the idea that liberal democracy isn't working because it isn't actually working. That's the truth.
Responsible for the things they say and do. But that doesn't mean we disparage the thousands of hardworking, law-abiding, and peaceful truckers who, quite frankly, have kept all of you alive the last 2 years by filling your grocery shelves with the food that you eat and filling your homes with the products that you rely upon.
Yeah, that's what the working class does. But that guy is, I guess Hassan's agreeing with the establishment.
You see, like they're doing that now. You know what I'm saying? Too busy fucking honking their horns, you know?
Yeah, peasants, get back to work and fill my grocery shelves.
He's reporting the big turnout.
The peasants are the rabble. The rabble are being so uppity. The rabble are being completely uppity. And yeah, it looks like you're not filling my grocery shelves now. Instead, you're going out honking your horns with that ridiculousness. Get back to work, peasants!
They said truck convoy update. As of 9:35 a.m., all roads have reopened and all trucks and passenger vehicles have departed. Full count is 17 full tractor trailers, 104 tractors with no trailers, and 424 passenger vehicles and 6 RVs. Wow, dude, this is big. It's like cute. Let him have this, dude. I don't know. I find it to be rather cute. Like, let these cuties do some cute shit. Like, oh man, we're gonna give the government a strong, stern warning. Don't you know? It's a real movement. All right, you don't understand. Kingston is a ways from Ottawa, and there's more coming from the east. Shit's already on lockdown. What? There's more truckers coming away from the east? I mean, even if there's more people, because there will be...
Wait, so are Twitch streamers working class, but truckers are not, to Hassan?
Be more people now, okay? There will be more people that join in on the fun. Because again, a lot of this type of protesting actually just is about having fun. Like, it's about having a sense of community and having some fun. And that's what they're doing. Like, they're literally doing this because they're bored and they want to have fun. Like, but what do they don't have like a principled stance against the vaccine mandate. Like, that's so fucking idiotic. That's not what's happening. Okay? They just want to have fun. They want to have fun with their friends. Especially when we found out that, what is it, like 90% of the truckers are vaccinated? Like,
yeah, he keeps repeating this like lie that's coming from the CTA, which I don't know where they got that statistic from.
90% of the truckers are vaccinated.
This is actually fake news.
This movement was literally started by like some fucking white nationalist dickheads, and it's polluted by dudes, you know, driving their incredibly expensive lifted,
oh shit,
kitted out fucking Dodge Ram trucks. I work in logistics and deal with Canada. We surveyed our trucker base and got 90% plus compliance to the vaccine mandates. And a lot of truckers are also against it. Embarrassment for the industry. Not all truckers support the Freedom Convoy. I mean, I just don't think that it's as big as a deal as the media or as like these dumbasses are trying to present it. But even if it was, it's still.
All right.
Still stupid. Like
Emilio's timestamps, I'm sorry, they're not. He's just like, I don't know what he was thinking. But yeah.
The size of it doesn't change the reality.
I can't really trust his timestamps. Does anyone have any timestamps for this video? Of like what I mean, it's not, you're just not supposed to emphasize it or focus on it. But like, I'm really sick of having to like go back and forth with it. I just want to be able to anticipate them, you know? So I don't know what he was thinking, what he's doing. Like
it's still dumb as fuck. You know what I mean?
Creating the divide between two different types of people when we've always been together as one, and now it's just complete separation, and it's devastating.
All right, we should be fine.
I believe we have to protect our rights as citizens. This isn't about a vaccine or no vaccine. It's about what we're able to do every day.
I mean, let him have fun. Like, that's my take. Okay, maybe it's a bad take. Maybe people will get mad, but like, it's kind of laughable in comparison to like other shit that we see on a regular basis. But let him have fun, dude. It sucks. It literally sucks. Okay, it just like Canada sucks. Look how cold it is. Look how gray it is. Let these dummies have fun. You know, wave the Confederate flag around. What are they gonna do, bro? None of them have guns. They have nothing. You know, let them blow off some steam and act like they're actually, you know, what they want to be. Americans. Remember, Felix was 100% right when we had.
Yeah, there you go. He gets all his bullshit is from Chapo. That's why he has the dumbass views that he does. It's all from Chapo.
Had this conversation about like Canadian insecurities about not being American. Like they have to either overcompensate, they're either chill or they.
You know what this is the biggest? What is that fucking smug? Wojak? This is the definition of Hassan. This is the definition of Hassan right now. This is Hassan. Just let him have fun, you know? Just let him have fun. And they're just trying to be Americans, and, you know, I say just let him have fun. This is the definition of what Hassan's saying. Just let him have fun. They're just clearly trying to be Americans. I mean, I'm not really worried about it. It's coming here, though. That's the thing. It's going to come here, and you're going to have to start making decisions. Are you going to denounce the working class truckers and side with the, like, what are you going to do, right? You guys remember when they denounced the French yellow vests? Wasn't that fucking insane? Oh, God, that's what literally changed. My final nail in the coffin for the death of the left was the French yellow vest. And when I saw all these Twitter leftists attacking the French yellow vest, I then realized that the left is dead. That has no future.
Overcompensate for not being American by being like, we're trying to be as American as possible. And it's just like, let them have fun. Lance did an incredible job getting pictures from the event together. On the anniversary of the Quebec mosque shooting, the trucker convoy in Canada is filling the streets with Confederate flags, swastikas, and defacing the Terry Fox statue.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Brother. Mandate freedom. Yeah, that's what's going on, dude. Great to see so many people pointing out to the trucker rally as a revolution.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
When one of its key speakers is saying
it was like a very fringe, marginal thing. It had nothing to do with the fucking trucker movement. No, leftists were against the yellow vests. Even fucking Zizek wrote against them.
stuff that would make Tucker Carlson blush.
Now, what it is the part of the depopulation. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. And what there is there's an end game. It's called
This is awesome because it gets like, one, it gives Canadian hogs something to do, and they deserve to have some, fun, okay? And what do hogs love doing more than anything else? Hogs love defeating divorce court, okay? Overcoming being victims of divorce. And hogs love, more than anything else, speaking into a camera while driving in their cars, okay? So this marries those two things, okay? They love fucking complaining about dumb shit that...
This is so, like, arrogant. What is this fucking class arrogance? Isn't this so elitist? It's just like he doesn't have any self-awareness with his elitism. Like, you know what I think? I think Hassan just calls himself like a socialist leftist to absolve himself of the guilt of his actual, like, stance toward these people. Like, let's say he was just like a liberal, like a neo-lib, which he is, but if he just like identified as a neo-lib and he was this smug, there would almost be something like based about it because it's just so shameless and open. It's like, oh wow, it's exposing the world. But the fact that he calls himself a socialist and lib and he just expresses the same elitism and class arrogance, it's like gives him a free pass to do it,
It doesn't actually hurt them in any meaningful capacity. And they love making those complaints from their cars. So this is great because the convoy allows them to do that together. So brilliant, beautiful. My heart goes out to them. Finally, someone is saying something.
Of the Caucasian race or the Anglo-Saxon. And that's what the goal is to depopulate the Anglo-Saxon race.
But you can just tell this guy like just went on the internet and he just read that somewhere and he's just saying it, right? You can, like, this isn't some fucking conniving ideologist Nazi. It's just some like random boomer who went on truckdrivers.com and fucking saw a forum post saying this and he's like, oh golly me. Yeah. That's just like people just say shit. People just say whatever conspiracy theory that they last came across. He probably said an entirely different theory after this the week later. He's like, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to turn us into moose. And you can see that they're growing antlers. And I saw him the other day. He had half human, half moose. Straight out of their military labs of Trudeau's government labs. You know what I mean? Like you're taking it too seriously.
Because they are the ones with the strongest bloodlines. And we'll leave it at that because then we get into a whole different topic. But it's a depopulation.
Yeah, dude, you look like you have the strongest bloodlines, brother.
Of race. Okay, that's what they want to do. I've spoken before about how we have Ahmed Ahmadinejad, or Mahmed. I can't say their names very well because I don't have the dialect that they do, but we have Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who states...
Dude, Canadian racists are so funny. Like, look at him. He's like still trying to be courteous while talking about how the Anglo-Saxon bloodline. Like, dude, Canada racists are just built differently, dude. It is so funny. He's like, oh, apologies for not...
Yeah, no, I think what you're missing here is the persecution complex where you just don't understand it. It's a persecution complex based on a conspiracy theory,
Not being able to say the sand N-word's name correctly, but
No, that's not, you don't understand it. It's not coming from a place of like, oh, we are better than everyone. And no, that's not where it's coming from. It's more coming from the fact of like, there's a persecution complex and there's confusion about who the enemy is and what the enemy is and who we are, like who the people are, right? And because Canada's working class is significantly white because of like historical Canada, the founding of the Canadian state, it's just like a very primitive form of false consciousness, you know? But it's based in a persecution complex. It's not based in a real sense of racial superiority or anything, right? I mean, you'll see this. It's very common among, like, you know, among minorities that have been persecuted. They will come up with ideas and theories of, like, you know, like our genetics are superior to everyone else's because it's an inferiority complex, you know? And that's where this is coming from.
Don't have the proper dialect, don't you know?
Like, he probably associates diversity with the ruling class, right? Because the ruling class is trying to present itself in Canada as diverse. Can anyone deny that? Trudeau is like wearing all these cultural costumes and trying to like posture as this very diverse thing. But in reality, Canada's ruling class is overwhelmingly white, right? But through the media, they posture and pretend to be these like cosmopolitan, diverse cultures, right? So it's like you have this class war going on in Canada between like a white working class and a white ruling class, and the white ruling class is like hiding behind minorities. So you have this spontaneous false consciousness of people from that working class who are associating the ruling class with non-white minorities, right? But in reality, this is just a class struggle within white people. Does that make sense? So it's not about white supremacy. It's not about that. It's about a class struggle.
He's like, I'm so sorry for getting the name wrong. I don't have the proper...
And it's so sad that, like, Hassan could never make that analysis. The only analysis he's going to do is superficially judge what he's saying in terms of, like, the idea, like, at face value, right? But how committed is this guy to that theory, for example? Like, what's the reason why he's saying this? Is it really because he fucking, like, is committed to the idea of white supremacy? Or is there another reason?
Dialect
states that no matter what, we are going to infiltrate governments, education systems. We're going to infiltrate every...
So he's saying Ahmadinejad is going to infiltrate government systems and education. So is this a guy who's like uneducated? Yeah, he's just not educated. He's accusing Ahmadinejad of spearheading an effort to infiltrate Canada, okay? I mean, this is just some random bullshit that, like, seems like it, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's just coming from confusion and a lack of education.
Way possible into the
like this is, you know, listen, I hate to break it to you guys, but people are naturally fearful of outsiders and foreigners. It's scary when people who are different from you. You know how I know that? Because I come from Arab culture. And in Arab culture, foreigners are scary. It doesn't matter what kind of foreigner you are. It's just a little unsettling and frightening, right? And I think that's true for all human beings. When we grow up in one place and we're used to a certain culture and a certain way of life and a certain background and a certain setting, people from other backgrounds, you know, it causes confusion and it causes like just a sense of alienness, right? And that's what Islamophobia is. That's literally what it is. It's just based in like people are just kind of intimidated and scared of this foreign culture they don't understand, right? So of course he's gonna be like, yeah, Ahmadinejad is like this sense of like this alien influence coming in, you know,
Western world.
But it's only Western people who pretend to love all outsiders and foreigners. Everyone else, like, I hate to break it to you guys, if you go to Eastern countries or Middle Eastern countries or African countries and you're foreign, I mean, there's going to be like xenophobia against you.
what we're going to do is not only infiltrate by flooding with refugees, we're going to infiltrate the education systems to manipulate it.
You don't need both hands to drive, honestly. I agree. Sometimes you need neither hand to drive, like what this guy's doing. I love that he's enunciating with both of his hands. Like he was like, I'm spitting such hot fire. I need both of my hands to fucking deliver the speech.
To endorse this kind of behavior.
Yo, this is literally CRT. This is just conservative CRT. This is a critical racism theory, okay? Yeah, but you libtards don't want this real, you don't want this real CRT to be taught in schools because you're afraid of the truth, okay? Yeah, I'm fucking calling it out, dude. I'm calling it how I see it, okay?
This kind of behavior then endorses less procreation. All right, so
dog, this causes the white race to be eradicated more than anything else, okay? I don't know how the fuck you did this, but you have a chest tan, okay? You have made yourself through a sequence of L's that you've held onto throughout your entire life. You've turned yourself into the least fuckable man. I do not know how you got a chest tan in Canada, but you were able to do it and just on your chest. Like,
and here's the truth. This guy probably fucks more than Hassan. Don't ask me how I know that, but I'm pretty sure he does fuck more than Hassan. Oh yeah, baby. He just knows how, you know?
Nowhere else. And you got the low-cut shirt on.
Now, what kind of people is he fucking? I couldn't tell you, right? But I think he's fucking more than Hassan. That's all I gotta say.
The red chest and the low cut like tee is very European, so at least he's trying to be you know,
it's okay. The next one,
like his European ancestors, I guess. But I just don't understand what this fucking man is complaining about, dude. He's like, oh no, the white race is becoming unfuckable. It's like, no, you're doing that to yourself, brother.
So the less procreation, the less white people.
Look at both hands. Homie about to fucking die.
You know,
while describing the great replacement theory.
Anglo-Saxon. Let's say Anglo-Saxon because when I say white, all the Antifa guys call up the race card. So we're gonna call ourselves Anglo-Saxon. Okay.
Same guy earlier today knocking on the door of the Prime Minister's office.
Bloodline so strong it's getting known by disease.
Oh, that's Pat King, don't you know? He's there. Wow. Wow. What a brilliant man. I'm excited about what kind of theories he's got for Justin Trudeau.
You hold that for a minute.
Hey, Daddy.
He's literally just a random boomer, okay? He's just literally... This is like the neo... Guys, isn't it crazy how they're all calling him like a Nazi mastermind and he's just a fucking random boomer? They're calling him like the white supremacist Nazi mastermind of the Freedom Convoy. He's literally just a fucking random Canadian boomer who got access to the internet.
We're looking for you, baby. He's nowhere to be found. No shit. Well, what the hell? Kick it down, bro.
Kick it down, bro. Someone said accent needs work, while the dude literally sounds like my fake Canuck, my Canuck accent. Kick it down, bro. What are you doing? Just kick it down. Freedom Convoy 2022 Ottawa. Wow, that's interesting. It would be really cool if this video was actually recent and not from 2019 about something completely irrelevant.
Thank you, Invalid. We're approaching the dangerous part.
Notice how there's no... Wait, what the fuck? Wait.
You ever notice how, like, liberals and leftists love, like, when the indigenous drum music and shit? I mean, we can't talk about this, but, like, you ever notice, like, how performatively, like, they love it? Like, whenever they're, like, near the indigenous drum music, they're like...
Wait, why is there another Confederate flag here, though? What the fuck?
Because this is the fucking freedom convoy.
Wait, oh no, this is not that video. This is new. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, Hassan, why did you say it's from 2019? It's not from 2019. Yeah, take the fucking L, dude. Okay, that part is over. Oh wait, 1330. Okay.
Hey, my bad. I thought this was like, I thought this was fucking a fake video or an older video. Bro, I love that it's like, look at these indigenous people, and then like in the video, you literally have a Confederate flag.
Okay, can I say something that's problematic? There was indigenous tribes allied with the Confederacy. In no way is the Confederate flag inherently... And I'm saying that as someone against the Confederates. And I'm against the Confederate flag.
They're like, yo, look at these.
Nobody wants to talk about this shit, you know?
Look at these indigenous people protesting the trucker flags, or the trucker the mandates. Wait, rewind like 2 seconds. You missed the other flag. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Do you see this? Oh my God! So much better. So, oh, that's the real flag, bro.
No, that is a based flag, because Canada should join the U.S. Why is Canada under the British still? It's a based flag. Wait, I don't know. Is there like a background behind this flag I don't know about? It's just like a mock-up Canada. I don't know what this flag means. If this is like a secret white supremacist symbol, then my bad. It just looks like a American Canadian flag.
Brother, that's my favorite. I love that. Okay, I love that. What do I always say? Canada is quite literally just an American colony, okay? Or not even an American colony, it's just a state. I want this.
Yeah, I think Canada and the... Like, look, Canada's... Can we agree Canada's political system is dog shit? What are writings, right? They have writings and they have so many... God, for a place that only has 38 million people, it's so overly complicated how they have elections and shit. It's like, it's so inefficient. And I agree, the U.S. is too, to be honest, in a lot of ways. But... So here's what should happen. Canada needs to, by itself, overthrow the monarchy, become a republic, and then we'll join together. And we'll just have, like, a cool new state. An American state. You know what we should think of? Instead of just preserving the republic, we should think of, like, renewing the the idea of the United States. Like, the United States... isn't just one thing. We can like take it to the next level, you know? Like Quebec, Canada, we can have a new United States, you know? We don't have to be dragged down by the past. We can have a next level Pan-Americanism.
This flag. I actually want this flag. Canada hogs are now threatening politicians to have in person.
If it's male or female. But right now, I'm super pissed at every government downline, and I want answers. And here I am, in my face, without a flippin' fucking mask on. Correct. That is correct, which is illegal. And boy, I love it. I'm coming back to serve.
Dude, I love these guys. Like, they're just trying to be... They're such wannabe Americans, dude.
No, they're not. These are actually Canadians, Hassan. He sounds stupid. I'm sorry. He just sounds like a fucking... Sounds like a dumbass. He just says shit he doesn't understand. No, Hassan, they're not trying to be Americans. Just because you don't know Canadians doesn't mean that everyone's... It's stupid.
I swear to fucking God, like, they're such fucking wannabe Americans. Yo, Murat's back. We're looking at the...
Who the fuck is that?
We're looking at the convoy.
Oh, the 50,000 strong?
Yeah. They're strong, brother.
Sheldon Andreas is not a fascist. He's a pastor. He's also a trucker. He's a member of the Freedom Convoy. Grateful to have him join us tonight from Ontario. Mr. Andreas, thanks so much for coming on. A fascist, really. So tell us why you're doing this, if you would.
Yeah, well, probably mostly for the same reasons that a lot of these other guys are out here doing this. There's just been a stifling of freedom and a stifling of unity in Canada for 2 years. A lot of.
You know what these truckers are? They're the successors of the Canadian Republicans, the Patriots during the Patriot War. That's who they are. Successors of the Canadian Republicans.
People are down. A lot of people are fired.
They were going to have their own war of independence against the British, but it was crushed. If you had a choice between Hassan and Destiny, who would you pick as your ally? Is there another option? Okay, I'll weigh the pros and cons, right? The pros with Hassan is that his community is more tolerable and his orbiters are more tolerable. I like his orbiters. Okay? His orbiters are way more tolerable. Because a lot of them are just girls who like Hassan and they like him for his looks, basically. And they'll never get Hassan, right? But I'm like a very discount version of Hassan. Like, I'm much shorter, but, you know, I'm Middle Eastern and whatever. So I like those people, right? I like those Hassan orbiters that, like, have a crush on him and shit. Because, of course, for them, Hassan's way better than me, but they'll never get Hassan. So I'm like, you know, Walmart Hassan, right? So, you know what I mean? So I do like Hassan's orbiters. And the other thing is that with Destiny, so Destiny's orbiters, I hate them all. His community's dog shit. Yeah, I don't know about his community, but they do annoy me. I don't like DGG, right? I don't like DGG. But Destiny personally, he would be a reluctant ally, personally. Like, just Destiny personally, a reluctant ally. It's like in a zombie apocalypse and we're surrounded by zombies and it's like, okay, for now we'll have a truce. But the thing is with Hassan personally, I don't like, he's like this Chapo guy. So I don't know, like, Hassan seems kind of fake to me. That's what it is. I feel like he just postures trying to be something he's not. So, yeah, I don't want to say Destiny. But what choice do I have, right?
Can't even go into a grocery store without getting into an argument about a mask or whatnot. So what?
Like, this is what I mean. This is actually what it is. This is not a serious destruction or erosion of personal liberties, right? If all you are complaining about is like, oh, I'm getting into fights at the grocery store over not wanting to wear a mask, like, you're entitled.
By the way, I'm loving Michigan with no mask mandates here. Don't have to wear a mask in Michigan. I love it. LA was fucking hell. LA is hell. I don't even see anyone with a mask here. And nobody wears masks here. You know, I went to Dallas and there was no masks in Dallas. I didn't give a fuck about any masks in Dallas, right? You know?
spoiled little fucking bitch, okay? You're bitch made. You're fucking bitch made. And it's never that. Like, when First Nations protesters are like trying to stop a fucking new pipeline from being built and getting murked, or when, you know, black people are fucking, I don't know, protesting police brutality and getting murked, protesting the state's monopoly on violence, exercise against them at a disproportionate rate. Like, those are honorable, reasonable, justifiable acts of protest. Those are for good causes. You don't hear them fucking doing this shit because, oh, my fifis are hurt because someone had the audacity to tell me, don't you know, that I...
What are you talking about? I missed what he was saying. What is he saying?
You don't hear them fucking doing this shit because, oh, my fifis are hurt because someone had the violence, exercise against them at a disproportionate. Protesters are like trying to stop a fucking new pipeline from being built and getting murked, or when, you know, black people are fucking, I don't know, protesting police brutality and getting murked.
You want to know why this is in general? Okay, can I tell you very quickly, and you'll be able to clip this 30 seconds, why the left is more weak than the right? Because the left acts on the basis of morality, and the right feels like it acts on the basis of truth. So when leftists are going to protest the pipeline, they're going to be less audacious than right-wingers because they're doing it on the basis of morality. Now, as to the reality of their actions, like what basis it has in the truth of being, they don't know, right? So they're not gonna have as much teeth, where right-wingers are like fighting for what they believe is truth and the truth of being, and like, here I stand, this is how it is how it is. And they have that confidence. Leftists don't have confidence because they're only fighting for based on what they think should be, not what is, right? So that's why leftists in general are weaker than right-wingers at getting anything done. That's why in Congress, the Republicans are much tougher than the Democrats, because all of the leftist values come from pure morality. That's why communism is not leftism. Right? Communism is based on material class interests. So it has more in common with right-wingers in that regard, right? It's not based on morality. It's based on class interests. It's based on material class interests, right? And it's also based on patriotism, our country, fighting for our people, right? So that's very important to understand. Those pipeline people are not throwing as much of a fit because they're doing it based on morality in the first place, not as an authentic expression of their class interest. Thank you, Chris Morlock. Not as an authentic expression of their being. They're doing it because of this, like, it's almost elitist. They're like, I'm more moral and better than everyone. I'm going to go, you know what? I'm pro-pipeline. Fuck it.
Protesting the states.
Whatever. I guess I'm for indigenous sovereignty, but let's say there's no indigenous people involved. I'm for pipelines. I'm pro-pipeline. I don't give a shit about the stupid environment. Fuck, I don't give a fuck. I'm pro-pipeline.
It's monopoly on violence, exercise against them.
I'm a petro-communist, always has been.
Disproportionate rate. Like, those are honorable, reasonable, justifiable acts of protest. Those are for good causes. You don't hear them fucking doing this shit because, oh, my fifis are hurt because someone had the audacity to tell me, don't you know? Oh, my fifi protest. Those are for good causes.
You know what's really weird about Hassan's complaint? It almost reminds me of like a form of sexual resentment. Like, this does kind of like represent a type of like feminine resentment. Like, oh, men complain at the smallest things, but I go through all of this shit and I never complain. Well, it just seems like that's just a complaint that... You guys notice that though? It's like, oh, when men get the flu, they're always complaining and shit. And I got the flu and it was no problem. That's what he's saying. And then do it then, Hassan. Stop complaining and just do it. Oh, you don't see us complaining? Then complain. No one stopped you from doing what you gotta fucking do, you know? Nobody's stopping you from doing anything.
Hear them fucking do it.
Not everyone wants to be like you. Not everyone wants to suffer injustices and shit and just stomach it and just swallow it. You know, not everyone wants to fucking do that. You know?
Doing this shit because, Oh, my fifis are hurt because someone had the audacity to tell me, don't you know, that I have to wear a mask. This is bullshit. I'm sorry.
What really drove me to do this is the smiling faces that I seen on the people that organized it. Like a good friend of mine helped to put this together, and
it's like privilege. You know what it reminds me of? It's like privilege politics, where it's like people were like, "Oh, the yellow vests are protesting," and yet migrants have been during all this hardship and not a peep. Nobody said that migrants shouldn't have a right to have a peep. Don't fucking blame the yellow vests for standing up for themselves. I hate people who attack people who stand up for themselves because people who have it worse didn't stand up for themselves. Then stand up for yourself. Holy fuck. It's that simple. Oh, the American Revolution was so privileged because they were complaining about the British, and what about slavery? The slaves never stood up for themselves. They should stand up for themselves, and they did during Nat Turner's revolt, which I support. Or I don't. What does it mean to support? It happened 150 years ago, but it's like, you know, that's good that they revolted, right? It's a good thing. It's a good thing when men stand up for themselves, isn't it? That's what we should be praising. Not having a privilege Olympics about who has it worse.
And it's just been wonderful to see all the smiling faces that have come together.
I'm going to be here as long as it takes. As long as these truckers are going to be here, I'm going to be here. Because why? Because I think we should live free like we always have. Kicked off Facebook, blocked, not allowed to post any of this live, nothing else. That's why I'm here. They shouldn't have turned my Facebook off.
It's true. At least he's honest.
Well, we need to be vaccinated. You want to bring it back and forth over the borders? You know, you want a job? Get vaccinated.
That's just one trucker. But the reality is that 90% of truckers are already vaccinated.
You don't. That's from the CTA. It's not reliable.
So it's really fucking stupid. It is incredibly fucking stupid that these non-truckers are like running around. And the only reason why they have to act like they're truckers is because people care about the aesthetic.
Oh yeah, you're not real truckers. Hassan's now the gatekeeper of who the real trucker is, because Hassan is so about that life, right?
Of it, okay.
So he's gonna gatekeep who is and isn't a real trucker.
They're like, oh, those are the real workers.
He's so about that life.
Those are the essential workers. They're doing something really important. And it's true. It is true. That is an important job. They are essential workers. But that doesn't mean that they can just fucking go and protest against like their own best interest when the government.
Am I losing my mind? This is the most elitist, condescending shit I've ever heard. Look, I agree they're essential workers, but that doesn't mean they can go and rebel against what's in their own best interests. I'm going to tell them what's in their best interest. I know what's best for them. Dude, this is like madness. This is why I don't react to Hassan, because it just shocks me to such an extent that I'm speechless. Like, is Hassan okay? Is Hassan okay? I mean, Bernie 2 years ago lost. Is he okay? I mean, does he have any self-awareness of how fucking condescending he sounds? Is this dude okay? I mean, what am I looking at here? Is he okay? What is he thinking? This is such a stunning lack of self-awareness. I don't even know what to say. It's like, this is such a stunning lack of self-awareness. Holy fuck. Here's some footage of the protest, apparently. Oh, you can't see it. Fuck. Why did this happen? What is this? I did not... I didn't fucking mean to click that, okay? That was weird. All right, guys, it's not that funny, okay? It's really not that funny. I don't. Haha, poo poo. You guys are fucking immature, for real. You guys are for real immature, okay? Haha, poo poo. Poo poo. Grow the fuck up. What the fuck? All right. Wait, is this the white supremacist rally? Is this the white supremacist Hassan was talking about? Look at all these Nazis. Look at all these Nazis, guys. Oh my god, this Nazi thing is crazy. It's literally, sorry, that's just the same as Hitler. That's the same thing as Hitler, okay? I will not elaborate or be taking questions, but trust me, it's the same as Hitler.
Government is forcing them to do what is right for themselves. That's what the government does.
Actually, he is Indo-European, so technically it is a white supremacist. Actually, he's Indo-European.
That's why we have seatbelt laws, okay? It's really fucking annoying.
Hundreds of truckers continue to roll east, and with
Yeah, it's an Aryan gathering. Oh my god.
more joining the movement with each passing city, feelings towards vaccine mandates have heightened.
I advocate civil war. If people don't want to stand up, we got guns, we'll stand up and we'll bring them out.
While this sentiment is shared,
I love that man.
What gun do you have, a blunderbuss? Dumbass, you're in Saskatoon. Who are you gonna fight? Huh? With your blunderbuss, old man? You're wearing a Tim Hortons hat!
That's kind of funny, but based, you know, like, maybe he does have a blunderbuss, you know?
What is he gonna do, bro? Is he gonna use his bolt action rifle? We're in Saskatoon. We use these things against the Sasquatch. We'll use them against the government too. Get the fuck out of here, Jim Dorkson. That's right, bro. His last name is Dorkson. Some motherfucker in the chat's gonna be like, that's actually indigenous. You're making fun of a First Nation last name or something. So sorry if that's the case, but yeah, Dorkson. Exactly. What a fucking dork.
Can we just watch the video, dude?
No. It's just so funny when Canadians threaten violence. Yeah, that's right. We'll say mean words, don't you know? Just watch out. We have guns. It's like, no, you don't. Dude, I've seen your fucking magazines, bro. You literally, it's like 5 rounds max, okay? What are you gonna do? It's like 22s only, 5 rounds max. Who are you gonna kill with that, bro? You gotta fucking unload it into like a person.
The best part of this is if you get injured in Canada, they got medical care.
Yeah, that's the other part. Like, they just come in and they fucking literally save you. And then also, no one has guns too. It's just like, center fire are locked at 5. Yeah, what are you gonna do? The funniest thing is like, it's literally it's like a gun flex is cringe as fuck, Hassan. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. I wish we had some serious fucking gun control measures like they do in fucking Canada. So when...
What? I didn't know Hassan was so against guns. That's really soy.
Our hogs say, we're gonna go kill you, brother. Like, that would be less effective. That I could just laugh at the hogs then as well. Man, I seen 22 round nose drop.
Hey, if you think gun control is gonna prevent like civil uprisings, you're a fucking idiot. I don't advocate for any of them, but if you think gun control is gonna would stop political violence, it would not. Okay, it just would not.
What?
Okay, I need you to remember. Please put this in your head. Okay. These are truckers who cross the border into America and go back to Canada. You don't think it would be really easy for those people to be the ones smuggling AR-15s from the US? I think it would be easy. They probably fucking ship them to the US. They probably already have them in their trucks.
What?
Trucks literally carry everything.
Get all up in the pinball and rip your ass. Big joints, they break the bone and say, fuck it, what?
Okay. I kind of want to watch more of the Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan. What do you guys think? Should we watch more of that Joe Rogan? Jordan Peterson? I want to watch more of it.
Interacting with people. So it'll inhibit your intellectual development.
It's like unlimited content, you know? The Sam Hyde documentary. Is that allowed on Twitch? Because I'll watch that in a heartbeat if it's allowed. Is that allowed? Where's the documentary? Destiny watched it. Is that the one with Oh, that's the iDubbbz one? I thought you were talking about the Sam Hyde one. I thought you were talking about the Sam Hyde version, because I think Sam Hyde's version would be better. I'd rather watch Sam Hyde's version. I don't like iDubbbz. I really don't like iDubbbz. Hold on. I'm gonna take a piss. Be right back. But you're saying Destiny watched it on Twitch? Can I watch Sam Hyde's version? I love this so much. Oh my god, I love this so much. Oh my god, I love this so much. I love this so much. I want to just show you guys. Look at what ABC drew for logo. He adopted his profile picture. I love it so much. It's so based. I retweeted it and everything. Oh my god, I love it. Why didn't I get a turban? That's alright. I'm grateful for the one I got. This is actually super cool. I might change my profile picture. Should I change my profile picture to mine? I feel like I should now, right? Should I change my profile picture to mine? Let me see. Edit. Choose existing photo. I still don't know if I should yet. How does that look?